Hey everyone, so today I will be reviewing Nevermore by James Patterson. I'm going to do this in two parts. The first part, if you haven't read the book, it's okay to watch the first part. For the second part though, there will be spoilers. So in the middle there will be a divider thing. And if you haven't seen the book, you reach that divider, pause right away, because like 5 seconds of part 2, you can come back and watch the rest of the video when you're done. Nevermore, this is the cover by James Patterson. Again, it's the final book in the Maximum Ride series, book number 8. And in the back, it says, in the beginning there was Maximum Ride, a girl, a fighter, a leader, a superhuman with a mission to save the world. She's gone to the ends of the earth, seeking her destiny, and now the end isn't near, it's here. Personally, I think that's kind of cheesy. Just a little bit, like, the end isn't near, ... It's here, period. On the inside, there's really nothing to see. The spine is like red, typical, kind of almost boring, but typical for James Patterson. I have a bunch of the Maximum Ride books here, and if you can see, these two are books 3 and 4 in the series, and they also have the cover. It's just like a girl, I guess that's supposed to be Max, even though her hair is sort of like blonde gray. Yeah. The wings are really cool. They look really cool. I just think that part is awesome. But other than that, I think it's kind of weird. Like, I didn't even notice the background until I finished the book. Then I'm like, wait a second. I know what that's supposed to be, and you will too. But yeah, I don't think on this inside here, I'll read this too. Oh cool, it's just one big picture. One last chance, ... for Max, Fang, and Dylan, ... before it all ends. Are you ready for the final chapter? Are you ready for the ultimate fight? Because this is it. One last incredible, explosive adventure with an astonishing ending that no one could have seen coming. Book is roughly 344 pages. Oh cool, there's a picture of a flying girl with wings that are edited really badly. Right there. So I wasn't exactly disappointed, but you better be careful, because, yeah. Actually, having read all the other books, I was able to keep up. If you haven't read any other books in the series, you will not be able to keep up at all, because there are like minimal character descriptions, so you will not know what the characters look like, and I don't know if I'll be able to read this book again. Like, okay, I'm just gonna like bring the other books I've got into the mix. I have like 5 of them right here. The first 5. And the Angel Experiment is the very first one, and I loved it and everything. But after I finished everything else, I went back and I tried to read this again, and I couldn't, because everything had changed so drastically that I was like, what happened to the characters in this book? And by the time you get to this book, it's like they're not even the same characters anymore. They're completely different. So if you fell in love with the characters from the very first book, do not expect to find them here, because before I spoil anything, the overall review, I'll give it a... It actually did surprise me. I thought it was one of the best in the series. Not the best, but like top 3. Maybe second best? Third best? I don't know. Part 2, spoilers. If you haven't read the book, pause here. I'll put a little thing there. Yeah. Okay. The this is part 2. These are spoilers. They're like at this private school, fancy schmancy, that a doctor, the rich guy, whatever his name was, Gunther Hagen or whatever, that rich doctor who created Dylan, sent them there, according to Max, but then later he's like not alive, so I was confused. Did he like send him there and then die, or die and then send them there in his will or something? I don't know, maybe I read it wrong, but I was confused about that part. Aerie is alive again. What is... James Patterson, what are you doing? Aerie has died how many times now? Like twice, 3 times? I don't know. Infinite times. He's like indestructible, and so you're creating him again. Okay, wait. Max kills him. He comes back to life. He dies. He comes back to life. In this book. And suddenly he's like a bad guy, even though Jeb created him again not to be a bad guy? Or was it just for Jeb to be a good dad or something? I don't know what's going on there. Then there's Angel, and at the end of the last book, Angel was like, there was like this epilogue, and Angel was like in a daze or something, and they're, I don't know, I thought they were aliens from outer space or something, and they caught her, and they're like, ooh, this is a good human to examine or something. I was so confused when suddenly she's back at the school. I'm like, what? Because honestly, in the world of James Patterson, those aliens I thought there were, those made more sense to me. A lot of this book doesn't make sense. I'm gonna be honest. The whole love story thing, it's like the love triangle with Fang, Dylan, Max. I'm confused about that, because like she's like falling in love with Dylan the entire book, and then near the end Fang comes back, she's like, bam, I'm with Fang, and then Dylan's like, okay, I'm good with that. Well, first he's like, I'm not good with that, and then, you know, the world explodes, and then he's like, okay, now I'm good with that, because the world exploded like really, really quickly at the end, very fast. And I was like, whoa, what just happened? Because he's like suddenly saving her life, and she's like, I still love Fang even though you saved my life. Then there was like the infection thing, the disease to wipe out the entire planet. And I was like, are you serious? What? And by that point it was like, I know it's a fiction story, but at least have fiction make sense. Like, even in Harry Potter, we know wizards and warlocks aren't real or anything, but like J.K. Rowling made it possible in our minds that it was real, so we were like, oh, that's so cool. This makes no sense. So, and then there's the fact that Angel got her wings clipped, and then it's like James Patterson changed his mind halfway through the book and is like, wait a second, she kind of needs her wings. Let's only pretend they were clipped. And pretend they weren't actually clipped, but she thought they were. That made no sense at all, because that was like the only thing Angel imagined and wasn't real. There wasn't like anything to back it up or anything like that. So I was like, and then Angel was the voice. Why would Maximum Ride, who's supposed to be a kick-ass kind of girl, yet like independent and all that, why would she be controlled by a 7-year-old that she raised? Because Angel's like controlling everyone, and she's 7, and she's not sure of herself, because she, like, there are times in this book where she's not sure of herself, so I don't know why she would be, and if she's not sure and she makes everyone follow her, she could be letting them follow her right off a cliff or something, which actually kind of does happen. Yeah. In this book, like, Star and Kate ditch Fang, and then what happens to them? Because, like, Aerie, spoiler, dies, and then all those erasers die, and where are the betrayers? Like, where'd they go? Did they just die on the earth with everyone else? Because I didn't think that was possible. I thought they were those mutants that were immune to it or whatever. So how could they die on the earth? And then there's, like, Ratchet and Holden. His name's Holden, right? Yeah, and they, like, disappear off the face of the planet also. So I'm like, they find Angel through Fang's blog. Like, they don't even do anything about it. She's there, and they never tell us how she escapes the explosion in Angel, the book. Not like, and they find Angel, and they save her, and then they're attacked by a bunch of people, and Jeb's actually crazy, which I think everyone knew. Like, us readers, the audience already knew that from, like, the very first book, when they're like, wait, Jeb's alive? Oh my gosh! We thought he was dead because he wasn't taking care of us anymore. So, a bunch of erasers were connected to Aerie instead of being like they were before. So instead of, like, erasers being created to be better, they were created to be worse. Okay, and then I feel like in this book, Iggy, Gazzy, and Nudge get just shunned and pushed to the side for the rest of the characters. Like, ever since this first book, I was like, that's a lot of characters to keep track of. How are you gonna fit them all in a book? And he didn't. He just pushed them to the side and used a couple of them. In this book, 2 years on her own, complete peace, no one helping them or anything. After 2 years of complete peace, she can kick ass. After 3 years of kicking ass, she can't kick ass. What? Like, she's had 3 years of practice, and then suddenly it's peaceful like it was before in this book, and she kicks worse ass than she did in this book, or what? I'm sorry if I'm saying ass too much. It's a good movie, by the way, Kick Ass. I think that's all my ranting about this book. If you have... Yeah. Oops. One last check. Let's try that again. I'll cut that out. Stuff like that. But then that's only like half the book, the ending. The other half is getting to the end. It's like life's journey. Yeah. And then I could maybe do like a mini review of the sneak peek at the Confessions of a Murder Suspect. At the end, there's like a couple chapters of it. So yeah. And that is all. Bye!